What's up, everybody? Ryan Sickler here, and I just wanted to let you know that tickets to my fall dates of the Live and Alive tour are on sale now. Go to ryansickler.com, get your tickets to all shows. I'm coming to Austin, Dallas, La Jolla, Salt Lake City, Denver, Chicago, Detroit, Minneapolis, Madison, Portland, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, and Tempe. Tickets for all shows are available right now on my website at ryansickler.com.
Hey, baby, we're going to be here all day. We're going to be here all day, baby. I like this kind of party.
Welcome back to the Wayback, everybody. Ryan Sickler over here. ryansickler.com, Ryan Sickler on all your social media. And I want to thank you guys for supporting this show. I love doing this. It's a breath of fresh air for me, and it's really a good time to sit here and reminisce with my guest. And today, here on the Wayback, Daniel Van Kirk, everybody. Welcome to the Wayback.
Hey, everybody. Glad to be back here with you.
Well said, bro.
The least important kids in the car.
Well said, yeah. Please quickly plug your plugs.
People should go check out my special at my YouTube channel. It's at Daniel Van Kirk on YouTube. The special is called Rose Gold. Shot it in Chicago. It's out right now. You can go listen to that. You could also go watch my movie Wine Club. That's on Apple, Amazon, anywhere you can rent stuff that you want to stream. And then my podcast, Dumb People Town, Pen Pals, and my overnight podcast, The Midnight Air. So everything's at danielvankirk.com. And the special's up. Go watch it. And then go to danielvankirk.com if you want to come see me or request a city.
Well, thank you for being here, Daniel Van Kirk.
Thanks, buddy.
Rochelle, Illinois.
Pride.
You mentioned
right here, baby.
Right there. So I want to talk to you because this is Princess Lily Rose right here. This is who this dog
Middle
is
name?
right here. Lily, I guess. I don't know.
No, what?
It's Princess Lily Rose Sickler. That's what her damn name is. My daughter named this dog. This is their name. And
PLR.
I have been looking for a Cavalier King forever because when we were a kid, we had a Brittany Spaniel, a dog. You know what that is?
Yeah, we had.
It's like a bigger version of her.
We had a cockapoo.
Okay.
Cocker Spaniel Poodle mix.
And I just really wanted to finally get a dog. I wanted my daughter to be old enough to help and appreciate and all that.
Sure.
And looked forever for these. Long story short.
How do you start that endeavor?
I started Googling like best family dogs, small dog, all that. And this thing just kept popping up. Boop, 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 boop. And I was like, all right. Narrowed it down to like 3. We were looking at these little miniature huskies called Cleekais. I learned so much about dogs. So I'm looking online. And also during the pandemic, they're charging $5,000-$6,000 for these dogs. I'm telling my daughter, we're not getting a dog that's $5,000-$6,000.
Right.
I know what these dogs should cost. So I find a lady. And where of all places? Rochelle, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And I call you up.
Everything good starts.
I said, I only know one human being from Rochelle,
I think
Illinois.
I was in Rochelle when we had this conversation.
I hit you up, and I'm like, hey, do you know this lady? Alexandra's Cavaliers. And you said, give me a minute.
Because I said, I don't, but I guarantee someone in my family does.
Son of a bitch. Within 10 minutes, you're like, my mom's Facebook friends with her. She went to high school with one of my cousins Ben. And bought a car or something from another one
from
working
Ben.
somewhere. Oh, yeah. Ben, yeah. So she's come out since and met me at the show with her husband in Illinois. But this dog right here, Princess Lily Rose, is
Pride of Rochelle, Illinois.
Hey,
the Hub City.
This is the mascot of Rochelle.
I don't know if I go that far. Or the Hubs, baby.
So did you have any pets growing up?
Yeah, we had Heidi, which was a cockapoo. That was my first dog that I named because she hid all the time. I was not familiar with the 1936 Heidi. Shirley Temple movie. And then, or the book, I guess. And then my mom had a dog named Schwarzkopf, named after the general.
Norm.
He was an ass. And yeah, my family's always had dogs. Dogs, cats. I love them all. Mm-hmm. Anybody that's like argues about which one's better, I go, just stop that and find one to love. Who cares?
They're different.
They're very different, but they're also the love that an animal brings into your life is the absolute best. Isn't it funny that we rode around in the ass end of cars like this, and today you wouldn't even put a dog back there that you loved? You'd be like, get that dog. Somebody rear ends us. I am not losing the one person in this family who loves me.
Princess, get up here.
More than everybody else.
Yep, the only thing that's glad to see me every day.
Yes. Yeah. We'd sit there just like this, dude, with our feet up.
Oh, hell
Giving
yeah.
this.
Cigarette
How many people have
smoke all
talked
in
about
it.
doing this to other?
Yeah.
That was it.
Truckers,
Oh,
all
man.
the fun stuff back there.
You're
But,
just
man,
packed in.
and you didn't appreciate it then because you couldn't. You're like, this sucks.
Did
But
you
now
do
you're
road
like,
trips in
man.
one of these?
We had one. So anywhere we went,
Was it a Chrysler?
our first one was a
I
1979
think Pontiac and
Ford
I'm kidding.
LTD. Oh,
On
this
the
one right here,
top right.
72, right here.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, different hubcaps. But
Nomad,
that was
man,
it right
too.
there.
There was
And we had that back seat back there facing out. Yeah.
no. So we had one. I think it was a Pontiac or Chrysler. It was blue. This would have been like 1987. We used to sit, dude, getting rides to school every morning in one of these. These are still too nice.
Is that it?
These are too nice. Go.
These
go
are way
90. Go
too nice.
1990.
We had 1979 Dodge Aspen.
Maybe it was a Dodge.
Yes,
Dodge
it was
Plymouth.
that in maroon. 100%. That's when we drove to high school, dude. We picked everybody up in the
You
neighborhood.
drove?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I purely only was ever
That thing.
like a neglected passenger in the Wayback. You could do whatever you wanted back there.
Nobody gave a shit about
You
it.
couldn't. No, you couldn't get. You'd have to pull over. There was
Where
no
would you-
reaching
Where
back
would you go?
up to
None.
school. Me and my cousin Melissa and Kenny in the way back, sitting there just making each other laugh. Also, when your parents would do that thing where they would like drive too aggressively but never go over 30 miles an hour, scare the shit out of you back there. And then rides up to the cabin, man, up in Wisconsin, like a little hour north of
So
Madison.
childhood, you would go. You had a cabin, a family cabin.
We still do.
Tell us about it.
It's the best place in the world. There's just we'd go
Is it
up
the
there.
same place, or you've had different cabins over the year?
The same. We're not flipping houses up in Wisconsin. We got one little shack of a cabin, and that's what we've stuck with.
Describe
it's not
it.
winterized. It's
not winter, right?
no.
That's the sales pitch.
You don't go there You don't go there unless it's summer. I mean, spring, fall, maybe.
Okay.
You're not there. I mean, I've been there in the winter, and you got to go into the gas station if you want to, do some restroom business.
I know you like to say you have no money, but we had even less because I didn't even know a cabin could be a seasonal thing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you'll find out quick
Summer
when everybody
cabin.
else has lake houses and you have a cabin.
we didn't have.
We only got it because my grandpa passed away.
Oh, okay.
And even that, dude, it's so cheap. The front porch, we converted into a front room. So it's
Screen it in? Did
too
you screen
small,
it in?
but no, it's a function. It's like a living room now.
Okay, yeah.
Or, when we did it. But there's like 5 beds in there. Because you're there to be outside and be at the cabin, go down to the lake and stuff like that. But we would ride hours in the back of this, sitting in the back, going up there, going to the flea market, and you could buy whatever you wanted.
Did you ever get any accidents?
In the
Yeah.
no.
We didn't either. I was in a Ford Escort.
Well, you know the theory about people on bicycles, right? You're more likely to get injured on a bicycle wearing a helmet from another car than you are not wearing one from another car. Because people see a person with a helmet and they give them a wider berth. They get more they're more scared for that person's vulnerability. Whereas somebody in a helmet, people will more apt to fucking cut
Just
them off.
motherfucker.
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
So maybe there was just some level of I got to drive better. I got kids separating them in a huge rear windshield from death.
I talked about this before.
You slam on the brakes, you go forward.
My mother one time, we had a beige Ford Escort, like 1980s. Look at that.
Just in general.
Now, my mom and her girlfriend are taking me and my 2 brothers and her 2 kids, the 5 of us, in this car. 2 seats are claimed, okay? Mm-hmm. There's
But you got the
3
middle.
in the back seat.
Yeah.
And there's 2 in the hatchback. There isn't even a way back. You're just laying, curled
Oh
up
my
back
gosh.
there.
With
Curled
the
up.
blankets and
Just hanging back there. And we're
Jumper cables?
We're going from Maryland to Pennsylvania to go to the outlet shopping.
Why is this an option
So-
for parents?
My mom is driving because she was a big shopper. She's driving, and we're going through this small little town. We were going to, oh my God, you give me flashbacks. That where'd you go? Yeah, that thing.
That's wild, right? Where were you?
Called a 3-door. They're calling it because of the hatch.
Where were you?
We're going. I'm in the back. Great question. I'm in the back left behind my mother, and I'm complaining that I can't buckle my lap belt. That's all we had back there.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Don't buckle your seatbelt. You all got to fit back there." I'm like, "Yeah, but I want to buckle my seatbelt for safety." She's like, "Don't do it. You all need to fit." And we get through this small town near Hanover, and this little boy comes out of the laundromat. And we're going, let's say we're going west, right? This kid looks west. Doesn't look in our direction. He looks, you understand?
Yes, he looks the same direction you're traveling.
And never bothers to swivel his head to the left.
Oh, man.
Steps out the street. That fucking... That beige Ford Escort.
Look at that.
Right there.
That car's made to run over.
Ran
people.
his ass right over.
Shut
go. Oh, bro, we ran right over him, right? And my mother's like, "Oh my God." And we're all in the car like, "Oh my God," because we all saw it, right?
We hit him.
So we're looking out the back window and shit, and this kid's crying. He's crawling back to the curb. Fucking pull over. Now, I always felt bad for this kid. I don't even know who this kid was. His mother comes
You didn't
out.
back it up?
You would think.
He's gonna tell.
Well, it was busy enough in one of those towns. We're going 25, 30, but
When you say hit him, do
But
you
a
mean
car
like
could've been.
dinged him and he went flying
bro,
over?
we ran over this
Shut
motherfucker. His
up.
head hit the fender on the right side. His leg went under the tire, and we ran over. And he's crawling back. He's like 10, okay? His mother is in the laundromat and sees out the door the whole thing. Why? She's sending him across the street to get shit for her at the convenience store, like cigarettes and stuff.
Of course, yeah.
And she saw him look that way and not this way, and then us run over her kid. So she comes out and just starts beating the shit out of him, like scared.
The kid?
Yeah, going off on him because he's wrong. So we stop. Everybody gets out. My mother's, trying to calm it down. Like she's all freaked out, and the police come.
Yeah,
They're like,
I
"All
don't
right,
know.
how's everybody? Everybody good?" I'm like, He's like, "Everybody back here buckled?" I'm like, "I'm not.
Ryan.
I'm not." He's like, "Why aren't you buckled?" I go, "Well, none of us are." He goes, "Why not?" And I go, "Well, because my mother told us that we all needed to squeeze."
Did you know
back
what
in."
you were doing?
Yeah, she was so abusive and hated us. So I
Good
was
for
like,
you,
"Here's
man.
one right
Good
here,
for
bro."
you. Yeah.
I was like, "I wasn't." And he's like, "Man, why aren't the kids buckled?" I was like, "Well, because she said that we all needed to pack back here, and now we're running over somebody."
Ryan.
Kid broke his legs, and he was totally okay, but that was it.
He got
went under.
really lucky.
Dude, he easily could have been killed easily by that.
But she
That last
also,
thing he
like,
saw.
your mom's friend,
Trying to
assuming.
save 10% on clothes for killing kids.
But also, who assumes that any kid knows what they're doing crossing the street?
Yeah. My daughter
I don't
was
assume
terrible at it.
people. Like any grown adult, I'm like, I'm going to slow down because I don't know what this person's about to do.
Yeah, I see people that spend way too long in California thinking any other city, these cars are going to stop for them. I'm
Right.
like, you're dying out there.
Oh my gosh.
Check this out. It's called Cador's. It's in Pennsylvania. It's a swim park. Cador's. That's it. This was this public pool in the middle of Pennsylvania. And my parents would take us out, or my mom would take us out to this to just throw us in there and leave for the day, her and her friend. And we go swim in this thing. And back in the day, it was just, you could smell the
Is that a
piss in
wave
this
pool?
thing. Listen, none of that was there then. It was a pool. It was just one pool, and everyone was in it.
Yeah.
But what I remember most about it was, you remember those pools that they didn't smooth the bottom? It was the rough bottom.
Yes,
Your
it would
feet
cut
would
up
fuck.
your feet.
Yes.
Yes.
This place. I feel like they did it on purpose so you weren't in there all
it hurt
day.
your hands.
Oh,
too,
everything.
along
Just
the
tearing your
wall.
wall. Yeah, along the wall. Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, it needs to do more than just hold water.
Yeah. I don't think they want your ass in there.
How many, if you had to guess, I know everything's different because you're a kid perspective. How many people would be at that pool?
It felt like 500.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there was no wave pool. We're just in water. And there would be like little islands in the middle with fountain on it and shit like
We
that.
had Spring Lake. We had Spring Lake Pool, which used to be the actual lake that everybody swam in. And then they eventually built a pool.
Just threw chlorine in that thing.
No, they built like next to the lake, next to Spring Lake in Rochelle. They built a like lap pool.
Here it is.
Right. And then they had the kiddie pool. So this is that little wall. You're seeing the back of like a little climb wall. None of that shit was there. It was in the slide in the back left corner. None of that shit was there. It was just a lap pool that on one end of it was a deep end that would get like 14 feet deep, like right where the diving boards were. And then you had to go through a swim test as a kid to be able to get to swim in the deep end. And man, I used to go down to the bottom, 14 feet down, and I could just sit there. So this picture right here, 1939, this is when my grandma was a kid, and this was Spring Lake. People would just go. I mean, doesn't that look amazing?
Yeah.
Like, why don't we do shit like this anymore? We got to like build a fucking pool that has, laps in it and stuff like that. Look at that.
Kirsten, check this out. Go to Milford Mill Swim Quarry. What's up, everybody? Ryan Sickler here, and I just wanted to let you know that tickets to my fall dates of the Live and Alive tour are on sale now. Go to ryansickler.com. Get your tickets to all shows. I'm coming to Austin, Dallas, La Jolla, Salt Lake City, Denver, Chicago, Detroit, Minneapolis, Madison, Portland, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, and Tempe. Tickets for all shows are available right now on my website at ryansickler.com. So this was a quarry.
Yeah.
Originally it was a quarry, and then it was no longer used. So they had a rope swing. They had a cable pull. That girl on there.
We didn't have any of this shit.
They had, and then above it.
God, how much fun does that look?
Oh, this is awesome. This was in the movie Crybaby and stuff. I don't think it's still there.
You gotta take your daughter to do shit like this.
If it's still there, I would love to. We would drive down in high school. It was like $4.50, and we go every day we could.
So the one in Rochelle, the one in the Rochelle area is called Lake Ladonna, and that's where you went if you wanted to like finger a chick.
LLD, Lake Ladonna.
Man. Just that's Lake Ladonna family campground.
You making families up there,
Lake Ladonna. Yeah, you can see it all here. I mean, see all this shit now. Like, we'll do an inflatable side.
Inflatable,
no, just give kids a fucking body of water and say, don't drown.
Dude, remember the old school metal sliding board at a high school, or middle school, elementary school, whatever. It's just regular.
Yeah.
Imagine like 3 of those. Okay, straight up, it's all metal, and you would when you were wet, you would fly. Your head would be like gah, and you'd be like in the water. You're like, fuck, you could do it once a day. That was it, once a day.
Have you seen these water slides? There's like some in Mexico. I know there's one in Thailand where you shoot down this thing and it sends you up about 4 stories in the air.
Yeah.
I want to do that so bad. You don't want to? Yeah. Dude, with your back, you should, dude.
That might fix it, actually.
You should. Dude, that looks so much fun.
This is badass.
You got to take your daughter.
That's the picture right there. We wait up top for the rope swing. Mm-hmm. You go down here to watch, and then we go under the dock here and act like we didn't come up, and the lifeguards would dive in, and we'd swim out like, like, don't do that shit. Just under there, just like floating barrels.
I feel like you were a bad kid to an extent.
Yeah, I never got, I pushed it as far as I could without getting arrested.
Yeah. Like the same, like you friends, like parents of your friends, you were likely to have one friend's dad who was like, I don't like you hanging out with that Sickler kid. Mm-hmm. And have another friend's dad who was like, he's a good kid.
Yeah.
He's a good kid. Mm-hmm. And you are the same to both of those dads of your friends, but they both have a completely different attitude about you. And you're in the middle. You're somewhere in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Well, wait, we were going to talk about injuries, speaking of my back. Let's talk about this tree. You had some incident with
we were supposed to go to the cabin in one of these cars.
Yeah.
I'm 9 years old. We're leaving for the cabin that day. It's a Friday. Mm-hmm. And we were playing like cops and robbers. And there's a tree in the backyard that I always climb. Like I could climb this tree right now. I can tell you exactly.
When's the last time you climbed a tree?
When is the last time? Do you ever climb trees with your daughter? The last time I climbed a tree, man.
Did not. I watched her and helped her.
10, 15 years, right?
Yeah, I'd say that for easy.
Because what would be the reason? But when we have family get-togethers every summer, these nephews of mine, these other cousins, kids, and all this stuff, they'll just climb trees. They're just climbing trees. It's a whole bunch of like that air of like, look what I can do. Like you skip when you realize you can do it. And then at a certain point, you don't got time for skipping.
Yeah.
Right? We could skip wherever we go. We just don't.
No.
So I'm climbing this tree. And the way this tree works is it comes up and then it's just a standard double trunk splits out, right? And I have climbed up the left. If we're facing the tree, I would be on the left back side of the tree. And I was like, oh, I'll climb up here and then I'll pretend to like shoot the robbers or whatever military dumb game we're playing. So I've got like a fake rifle on my back, which in these days, back then, you know, is just wood.
Yeah. With a piece of metal.
Yes. Metal on the end of it, metal around the trigger, metal trigger. And so I've got it strapped to my back and I'm climbing up the tree, and I get to the point where I'm like essentially hugging the tree, standing on one branch, and I look up and there's 2 more branches, and I go, I'll grab those and I'll pull myself up. And it had rained that morning, so the tree was wet. I kind of just a little bit off my tippy toes, and I grab both, and the right branch breaks, like snaps off. It was like a dead branch. And so now I'm sitting there, holding on, and I remember it, right? I watched like fucking Cliffhanger, the opening of Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I just watched my hand slip off, dude. And I'm just.
And how high up would you say you are?
I mean, right? It feels like 80, so maybe 30, maybe 20.
That's a lot. That's 2 stories, dude.
Dude, I'm falling.
So you're not falling straight down. You're banging on the way down.
I'm fucking ping pong ball,
that
dude.
fucking bark is just.
I'm like, and I have vague memories of it. On the, I told you the backside is because on the front right side of this tree is a little squirrel feeder where you could put corn on, and it's got little silhouettes of squirrels. It's all made out of wood, right? So the last thing I did when I fell is the bottom branch before the ground, maybe like, I don't know, 6 feet off the ground, is a branch that goes out sideways and splits, and it's very rigid where it splits. My face goes boom.
No.
Into that, and I land on the ground. And I remember laying there being like,
where's my gun?
Yeah.
Where's my gun?
Yeah. Sergeant! Medic!
Whatever dumb game you're playing.
Yeah.
You're definitely about to be taken hostage.
Time out. Time out.
I got my walkie-talkie like,
Dude, sitting on the back stoop of my grandma's house is my cousin Kenny. Kenny, my Aunt Connie and Uncle Ken, they live next door to my grandma. So we had 2 front yards, 2 backyards. It was the best. He's sitting there. He watched me fall all the way down, right? And he comes, he's like, oh my God. I like get up. I look down at the gun, the metal that goes around the trigger, my back bent in half.
Holy shit.
I like look at the tree.
Even though it was real iron,
even though I fell on the backside, on the front opposite side of the tree, I broke one of those silhouette squirrels off. I don't know with what part of my body.
Swung all the way around that fucking thing.
I go walking into the house like, ooh, right? You know, I'm walking in like a 1980s NFL player. I don't even know what half we're in. I walk in, my mom is in the front room, and this is classic our era of growing up life. Single parent. I walk into the room. She's facing like we are right now, and I walk in to the side of her. Okay, that's where the doorway is. She's got the phone up to her. She's talking to a friend, trying to have some respite of normal life, which raising these kids by herself, all this shit. And I go, Mom. And she goes, I go, Mom. She's like, and I go, Mother. And she goes, well, I guess I can't have a moment to myself. My son thinks he's more important than my time right now, right? She hangs up the phone. She turns to look at me. She goes, Danny, all I know is this all hurts. That's all I know, okay? Yeah. She rushes me into the kitchen. She sits me down. She takes a washcloth, gets it super wet, presses it to my face. I'm like, Mom, that hurts. And she's like, you just have to do this, Danny. We have to get this cleaned out, and I need to apply pressure. And I'm like, oh, okay. And every time she takes it away, it's redder and redder, right? Till eventually I vaguely remember it being like an orange or peach colored washcloth is just bright red. And then she gets another one. And I'm like, Mom, what happened to me, right? And I look down. My arm is ripped open here. I have a cut from my side of my calf all the way up my thigh. And I'm cut open back here as well, right? I'm like, Mom, what happened to me? And she's like, let's just get this under control. and then we're going to go to the doctor.
Under control.
Yeah. And I'm like, Mom, what is it? She's like, you are fine. And my mom's a nurse. Just bury the lead a little bit on this. My mom is a nurse, and she's been in ER. She's done it all. So she knows what to do, and she knows to like stay chill. Okay. So I'm like, Mom, what? But the washcloth's got blood on it. She's like, that's okay. You just cut yourself. You're going to be fine. Now, this is when my Aunt Connie comes walking in. And Aunt Connie is one of the most loving, just emotions on her sleeve person, right?
The person you don't want to be around this situation.
Dude, I'm 9 years old.
Yeah,
my
bro.
mom's telling me, despite what I keep seeing, everything's fine. Yeah. Connie walks in. She's like, what happened? And my mom goes, Danny got hurt. He's going to be okay. She's saying it as she's applying pressure. She's like, Danny got hurt. He's going to be okay. And she takes the washcloth, and Connie looks at her. She goes, oh, my God, Diana's face is gone.
9 years old. His face.
Oh, my God, Diana's face is gone. And I remember, dude, I could be sitting at that kitchen counter looking at her right now, that old yellow refrigerator next to her, linoleum floor.
The way she said it.
Oh, my God, Diana's face is gone. Dude, I was like, I go, what? Now, this is when the swelling is like,
Yeah,
really? So I'm like, right? And I'm 9 years old, dude. I've seen Batman. I remember Jack Nicholson.
I'm 50. If somebody said his face is gone, I'd be terrified.
Dude,
Like,
and Jack Nicholson's like, let me see, you know? Oh my God. And so I'm like, what? She's like, it's gonna be okay. I go, my face is gone. Connie's like, I can't look. Runs out.
I can't look. Short of throwing up, Aunt Connie's out of there. Well, so what were your damages, dude?
My mom runs me into the doctor. Every time we went and saw Dr. Baptist, it was, wait. We always had to wait. But I remember sitting in the car, head up against that cold window, summer, and I am
all bloody
dude,
on it.
and I'm just holding a washcloth, you know. And I'm sort of, what I don't know at the time is, you don't know this shit, is I've lost a lot of blood. So we get in, and my mom's like, okay, and we sit right down, and then they're like, Daniel, and I'm like, I remember being like, Mom, we got to go fast. We didn't have to wait at all.
Yeah,
she's like, no, Danny, you're an emergency. Literally, I remember her saying that to me. You're an emergency, right? And so they bring me in, they sit me down. Dr. Baptist climbs up on the chair over top of me, and he's giving me like local shots around my mouth. And he gives it my mouth, and then he starts sewing my mouth back together, and I'm laughing. Now I do feel like Jack Nicholson in Batman, and I'm laughing, dude. And I was like, "Why? This isn't funny." They're like, "You're a little delirious," because I'd lost so much blood and like everything I'd go to. I ripped almost this entire cheek off from like here to here, and then I still had these scars. I completely blew my lip open.
Damn.
But my body was in such trauma, and it took a long time for all that blood to come. Not long, but you know, I ran into the house and started yelling for my mom. But it took a second for that blood to start pouring out of my face. And this was all ripped up. I had some stuff over here. And dude, I spent the rest of that summer, like I just couldn't, like, I remember two things I remember very distinctly. I remember seeing Kevin Meaney on The Tonight Show, and he did the "We Are the World" bit where he plays every person in "We Are the World." It's one of the hardest I've ever laughed, and I had to like turn away because I couldn't laugh. And then in the reflection of the mirror, I could still see it. This is how we know we have a comedy disease. I still was trying to watch it, even like, why would you do this to yourself? And then I remember my mom made the kids, me and my brothers, Kraft macaroni and cheese, still one of my favorite dishes to this day, spiral. And but she made regular Kraft mac and cheese, and I had to eat it with a toothpick, one noodle at a
One
time.
spiral at a time.
And dude, I was like this for like weeks. I was like this with stitches in my mouth and a huge scab on the side of my face. It's the worst, man.
I'm glad you're okay, buddy. So
Me too,
listen,
dude.
you used to do a podcast that I was a guest on, and I loved, called Hindsight.
Yes, it lives on in the midnight air.
It does.
Every once in a while, an episode will just be a hindsight. People on my Patreon can go listen to those. Your episode was so great.
I loved it.
Yeah.
So this is my episode. You were like, bring 3 photos of what's going on in your life, and let's talk. Let's talk about the time.
Yeah. Bring photos from any time in your life, and we just talk about what was the context of your life in the chapter that photo was taken.
And it's crazy to me to see the cold
on the door now. The like fall. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is my 10th grade math teacher.
God, I love that story.
Who came over because my brother and I forged a test with different signatures. And then that's the Civic 1990 Honda Civic with original rims, the Playboy Mansion. And that is when I had to be Gary Coleman's stunt double because he didn't show up for this.
This is why this show
I was a
show
PA
was so
on
great.
Fox Family, and Gary Coleman bailed on this thing.
Was
Still
that a
got
trailer
paid.
park?
Yeah, it was a trailer park in 3 Mile Island.
Yeah.
That's where it could have been anywhere.
Could've
That's
been
where
anywhere.
they won. I went and then had to be the
dude. If you had to
elf.
dress a teacher, that's it.
I don't know if she was a teacher.
No,
you mean
no,
him?
yes.
Yeah, that's Mr. Mangold, his name is. And
Look at Dad's
so
hoodie.
long story short is that I know Gold Russell. That's a Russell Athletic hoodie.
Love it.
My brother and I took a test and we both failed it.
Mm-hmm.
But math was mine to fail. He got all the other. That was mine.
Mm-hmm.
I forged my signature, but my brother and I don't tell each other we did that. That's
the beauty of this.
we don't tell each other.
Right. Yeah.
We go in, and that Friday, it was a Friday, Mr. Mangold's like, Sickler Brothers, in front of the whole class. And I just look right over my brother, and I'm like, and he goes, do you guys have different dads? And right away, I just looked at him like, you piece of shit. Like, this was my class to fucking do this.
Yeah,
I already knew.
Yeah.
And I go, no. And he's like, well, it's different signatures. And the whole class is laughing at us. And he's like, does your dad know about this? And I'm like, mm-hmm. I go, he's left-handed. Sometimes he signs one left-handed, and sometimes he signs one right-handed. And he's like, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to stop by your house tonight. And we're like, whatever. This is 1989.
Mm-hmm.
Fridays, I remember it Friday specifically because it was Pap's 2 pepperoni pizzas for like $10.
Yeah.
On Friday only.
Still around?
No, long gone.
Okay.
So he says, I'm taking the family out in the van. We're going to go to Pap's. We're going to get our 2
This is your
pepperoni
teacher?
pizzas.
Yes.
Yes, this is him, Mr. Mango. Saying this to the class before anything.
Because you were like,
we're
there's
like, you're
no
not
way
coming
you
by.
come. He
Yeah,
goes,
no.
I'm going to tell you exactly my itinerary for the night.
100%. That's exactly what he did.
It's doubles 9 at Pap's.
We're getting 2 pepperoni pizzas to go.
Yeah.
We're going to swing by your house on the way home.
I love this story so much.
And then we're going to head home and enjoy our pizzas. And we're like, and the whole class is laughing. I'm like, whatever. And he's like, you'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm also 16, and that happens to be my weekend to have the car because I'm a twin and I have to split. So I forget all about that. I'm gone.
Yeah,
as soon as I get home, I'm gone.
Yeah.
And when I come back, my brother and my father are standing there. And I'm like, what? And my father's like, you guys are so stupid. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, Mr. Mango came by. I'm like, bullshit.
Yeah, you still didn't believe it.
Bullshit.
Because I remember, didn't your brother have to convince you? Like, no, he did.
My brother's like, he came by.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, he didn't. You guys are in on this dumb joke. Yeah, haha, we forged our test, you know. I forget about it.
Of course, there's no digital cameras.
And then my father dies. Wow. So now I'm thinking about all these other things.
Of course.
And my brother develops the picture, and he's like, there it is. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. He really came by.
Yeah.
So, because I'm out of school all this time. So I see this picture. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. The dude really showed up and ratted us. Oh, he was
shaking hands.
He was so funny about it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, my dad was not mad at all. He was so glad that. But what ends up happening, the reason I brought that picture is because when I finally do go back to school, Mr. Mangold says, I have to ask you, is that the last photo taken of your father? And I was like, it sure is.
Yeah.
Because there's no readiness of click, 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 click for every time someone. I was like, wow. So that ended up being the last
people don't
picture of my
understand.
father.
It used to be that like you only had as many photos as it said on that fucking camera.
That's it.
And
And
sometimes
then
you got the number wrong.
And if you didn't turn it in for somebody to process it, you didn't get them.
I guarantee so many people listen to this, they themselves or family members, their parents still have rolls of film rolling around
It's out
somewhere.
there.
And to be like, no, let's do it. Let's waste one of the cubes. Remember the old flash cubes?
Yeah.
Let's waste a cube on this. And they took that photo. And for you to have that, also, it's such a beautiful story. And I mean, he's not going to somebody's house where he thinks the parents
He
don't
ain't
give a
going
shit.
anywhere. He's staying put, motherfucker.
But I'm saying at the time, your teacher's not going to somebody's house. He knows your dad's going to
he
you know
knows
what
we're
I'm saying?
good kids,
Yes.
dude. Like, we're not troublemakers. We fucked
God,
up
I
once.
love that
you know,
story.
So good.
So much.
So we have a mini hindsight here for you.
There it is, baby.
Tell us what's going on in this picture here.
Peter Dan doing?
Yeah. So
Peter did.
this is, as with like a lot of families, this costume made its way through like 3 or 4 different of the grandkids.
Oh, so
I
no
imagine
matter
I was
what,
probably first.
no matter what, you were being Peter Pan. This wasn't. I want to
No,
be.
I think
Peter
I got
Pan.
to be first.
Oh, and then
So
they're like,
yeah, I think I wanted to be Peter Pan. This is taken at Grandma's house. Look at those Christmas or those Halloween
is that
decorations.
ducks back there?
Yeah, that's duck. That's an all-time.
Yeah, we had a lot of geese at our house.
But
a lot of
I
geese and
still
owls,
have,
birds.
I have the over my left shoulder that jack-o'-lantern with the hat.
You got that?
Uh-huh. Yeah. I told Rosemary when she passes on in the next 40 to 50 years, she's 92. When she passes on, that I just want as many of her old holiday decorations as she'll get.
Yeah, that vintage stuff. You
Oh
don't
my
find that
God,
anymore.
dude. Yeah. So this is standing in the front room at Grandma's house.
And what are you, about 8 here? 7, 8?
Had to be.
Yeah.
Had to be 7 or 8 years old.
You're happy as shit, boy.
Dude, I've always had great legs too.
You almost have the same outfit in Gary Coleman.
Also, and if you look just at my left hand, that's way too big of a hand for a kid. I remember wearing this, man. Halloween is the best. I remember the year I went as Alf. I remember the year I went as I had a white sweatsuit, and I was a cocaine dealer. No, I had a white sweatsuit, and we got a big plastic, garment dry cleaner bag, right? And then we cinched it around the top, made holes for the sleeves, and then filled it with balloons. And I went as a bag of jelly beans.
That's good.
I loved that outfit. I loved that
All right,
outfit.
well, we got one more here for you, and we got to get out of here.
Okay.
What the hell's going on here?
This is what I call my crush and puss stage of life. This is freshman year of college.
Yeah, okay.
I'm in the play The Crucible. And I played Cheever or whatever his last name was. I think this might have been the last. I don't remember even doing another play in college, but I'm sure I must have. And I was so bad in this play. I mean, it's The Crucible, dude. Do you ever see The Crucible or read it? They just all, I mean, it's kind of crazy. All these people, all these kids get together and start calling people in town they don't like witches, and everybody believes them and just starts killing them all. And I believe it's a true story.
And you're in that?
Yeah. And so I'm a person who I think my character was, they put stones on you until you die from the weight. It's fucked up, but it's a classic old book and play. And that's me at Roosevelt University in Chicago. I'm 18 years old, maybe. No, I'm just 19. I'm 19.
Crushing the puss I
was one of 4 straight guys. I was one of 4 straight guys in the program, and every other room in the dorm was guy girl. But it was like that line from Armageddon when he tells Liv Tyler, "You're not in love with this Ben Affleck dude. You just have a lack of options."
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah,
it was just the amount of women who's like. Just even boobs I saw was just purely being one of the only straight guys around.
Yeah.
And I mean that, it set me onto the path of where I am now. But
you're one of the best guys around. DVK.
I almost wore that outfit today. Thank God.
Thank you for doing this.
Course,
Plug
brother.
again, please.
Okay, watch Wine Club. Find that wherever you like to watch stuff. You can listen to the Midnight Air. It's probably, there's a new episode out probably right now. And then please check out my special. It's been out for a little bit, but it'll be new to you. It's great. It's called Rose Gold. It's on my YouTube channel. And then just follow me for everything. Daniel Van Kirk on social media. DanielVanKirk.com for dates and where to see me.
There it is. I am Ryan Sickler, RyanSickler.com. We'll talk to y'all next week.